Hey guys, how you all doing? We are going to discuss how to plan your day in a way that saves time. You are going to need index cards. So go get yourself a bunch of index cards. If you don't have index cards, you could just pick up a paper and cut it up into squares or use sticky notes. But you want a bunch of separate pieces of paper and not just one big piece of paper for this. And you don't either want to just do it digital. I like doing it with pen and paper because it hits different parts of your brain, specifically for this exercise. Okay, we are going to discuss how to plan in a way that saves time. For those of you that are new here, hi, my name is Esty Rappaport, and the day that I improved one thinking skill, which is actually the thinking skill that we're going to be talking about today, was the day that I realized I can change the structure of my business and triple my revenue with less work. That day, I also rearranged my schedule and I saved 23 hours that week. And today I'm going to share with you what I did to rearrange my schedule so that way I was able to save 23 hours. I'm not promising you're going to save 23 hours. Often it's anywhere between 10 to 20 hours, but no promises. It is going to most definitely make sure you are working in a way that is more efficient and effective. Okay. Before we get into the actual exercise, I just want to talk about the thinking skill. You see, while you are doing any task, you, without even realizing it, are using your 28 thinking skills. These are the thinking skills behind every task. And we do them whether we realize it or not. Okay. Right now, you're listening to me talk. Your 28 thinking skills are playing in the background and saying, what she's saying true? Can I believe her? How do I use this? What else does this compare to other things that I know about? All those thoughts are coming from your 28 thinking skills. Anything that you're really good at, you got good at it because you had strong thinking skills. Anything that was a challenge at was a whole lot harder because of weak thinking skills. So as soon as you improve those weaker thinking skills, challenging tasks become a lot easier. And then you have the capacity to do more, and you get to do even more challenging tasks because you grow your thinking skills even more. So the thinking skill that is needed to do this exercise today is called categorizations. Categorizing on a simple level would be, right, you taking, let's say, a bag of marbles and being able to categorize them and to organize them, sort them by color, or to sort them and categorize them by size, right? That's the most basic way of categorizing. And I'm pretty sure every single one of you here listening could be able to do that without any problem. What happens though when you need to categorize abstract concepts? When you need to categorize your day, when you need to organize which tasks should go when. What happens when you need to categorize your closet? If you need to organize your closet in a way that works for you, so you're not keep on organizing your closet every single day, again and again and again, then we need to categorize in a little bit of a different way. It's the same scale, it's just more abstract, it's on a higher level. So today's exercise is actually going to be twofold. A, it's going to help us improve categorizations a little bit. And at the same time, it's also going to help us categorize the tasks in a way that saves time. When I did this and I rearranged my schedule, I literally all of a sudden had an extra 23 hours in my week. Okay. So, what you're going to need is index cards. Get your index cards. If you don't have index cards, you could also use sticky notes or even just cut up a paper and cut it up. And we are going to start with, on every index card, I want you to write down all the tasks that you need to do this week. Okay? Just write them all out. You need to respond to emails, you're having some sales calls, you need to create content, you need to create a pitch deck, you need to create a proposal, whatever it is that you need, put it down on there. If you want to also do home things, you're welcome to also do home things. You need to cook dinner, you need to go grocery shopping, whatever it is. Just dump them all out on your index card. Each index card should have a different task, okay? So you're separating every single task on a different index card, okay? All clear so far? Good. Awesome. I'll give you a minute to do that, and then we'll go on to the next step. Awesome. Okay. All our tasks are on index cards. Great. Okay. Let's go on to the next step. Now what you're going to do is you are going to take your index cards and you are going to make 3 piles. One pile is going to be for all the tasks that take less than 30 minutes to do. The next pile is going to be all tasks that take between 30 minutes and 2 hours. And the next pile is going to be all tasks that take 2 hours or more. So you're sorting them by time, 30 minutes or less, 30 minutes to 2 hours, or 2 hours or more. Okay. 3 piles you should have by the end. Awesome. Yay. Okay, can I give you a minute to finish sorting? And when you finish sorting, let me know so we can go on to the next step. Okay. If all your cards are in 3 separate piles, what you're going to now do is you're going to take your 3 piles and you are going to put them all back in one pile. You just categorize them by time, and I'm now telling you to put them back. You can mix them up if you want. It doesn't really make a difference. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to sort the tasks, but based on how much you enjoy them. One pile is going to be if you enjoyed a lot. One pile is going to be if like you really don't enjoy it, you like hate doing this task and you just don't enjoy doing the task. And one is like you're neutral. You don't care doing it, you don't enjoy doing it. Okay. 3 piles based on how much you enjoy the tasks. So go for it. When you're done sorting, then let me know, put it in the comments so we can go into the next step. Awesome. Okay, now what we're going to do is you're going to take your 3 piles, and once again, you're going to put them back in a pile. Okay? You just categorized twice. We're going to now categorize a third time. This time, you're going to categorize and you're going to sort your tasks based on priority, based on how important they are. One pile is going to be for super important tasks. One pile is going to be for like important, they need to happen, but they're not like earth shattering. And the third is going to be nice to do. Like you want to do them, but they're not super, super important. Okay. 3 piles. Take your index cards and sort them in 3 piles. Awesome. Okay. What we just did now here is we practiced categorizations. Your brain has been able to see the same exact tasks have been able to be categorized and sorted in 3 different ways based on time, based on how much you enjoy them, and based on priority. Is there one way that's the best way to sort them out of all 3 ways that we just sorted them? No. It depends on your goal. It depends on what you're trying to get out of sorting them. Why are you categorizing them in that way? This shows your brain how the same things can be categorized in different ways depending on what you need. Okay, I'm going to give you another example for this so your brain can understand it even more. Let's say you are trying to categorize and organize your closet. Okay, you could say that the best way to categorize it and organize it is by season, because in the winter you need your winter clothes easy access and in the summer you need your summer clothes easy access. Okay, potentially that is right, if depending on what you need in your closet. If you have a closet that has three different children share the same closet, it might make more sense not to sort it by season, but to sort it by size because each child has a different size. Or maybe if you tend to record content in your closet, it makes more sense to sort it by color so that way you have a pretty background. It's not that one way is the right way. It's for your brain to see that there are different ways that you could categorize the same things depending on what you need. Okay. Now keep that information in mind as I share with you the next thing. Every time we start a task, we use the most amount of energy. Okay, just like when you turn on a car or turn on a light switch, it uses the most amount of electricity every time you turn it on. Same thing, every single time you start a task, it mentally in your brain uses the most amount of energy. So, if you are doing a task and then you quickly get a text and you respond to the text and then you come back to the task, your brain has to restart and you use more amount of energy. You use more energy to get back into the task versus if you didn't respond to the task and you just respond to the text and you just finish the task away. Okay. Now we do this all day long. We get an email and we quickly go respond to the email and then we come back to the task. And then later on, we get another email and we go respond to the email and we get back to the task. Every time we go check our email, we are starting that task again. Versus if we have one or two times during the day where we just go into our inbox and respond to all the emails, we only use that lot of energy to get started one time when we get started on the email. Now we do this also with shopping. We need to go to the grocery store. So what do? We go to the grocery store on a Monday because we need food. And then 2 days later, we're missing something else and we go to the grocery store again. So we're using more time and more mental energy every single time we have to start and go back to that task again. So all day, every week, we are restarting tasks over and over again that only if we would have done them all at one time, it would have saved us so much more time, right? I think the one place where this does get spoken about quite a bit is in creating content. It's like, okay, batch content for the week. Sit down and go and record a whole bunch of content. But I think that people miss out. They say like, okay, go sit down and record content. But what does it take to record content? There is coming up with ideas. There is writing out your scripts. If you write out your scripts, there's coming up with the hooks and coming up with the CPAs and actually recording them and then editing them and then publishing them. Every single one of those steps is a new task within the task of creating content. And so if you think of an idea and then record it, and then you think of another idea and then record it, and then you think of another idea and then record it, you are also restarting the task over and over and over again. Versus if you first think of all your ideas and then think of all your hooks and then record all the content, then every time you start the task, you're only starting it once instead of going it back and forth over and over again. So, with that in mind, we're going to go back to our index cards, put them all in one pile again. And this time, what you're going to do is you are going to sort the tasks based on what goes together. So, if you have a few writing tasks, you want to put them in a pile. If you have a few call tasks or meeting tasks, you can put them in a pile. Maybe all your errands go in another pile. Maybe all the tasks that happen in your kitchen go in another pile. You decide based on what's on your schedule, what happens in your life, what sort of tasks can go together so that way you're not restarting over and over and over again. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do this. You might take an extra few minutes because you have to think about what makes the most sense for you to organize it. And it's okay if you get it wrong now. There's no like right way of doing this. As you do it more, you'll get better. Right now, just put things that go together that you think make sense for you to do them one after each other. Okay? Let's do it. Okay. All your tasks are in separate piles. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get to the actual planning. Okay. You're going to take your piles and you are going to sort them based on day. Which pile are you going to do on Monday? Which pile are you going to do on Tuesday? Which pile are you going to do on Wednesday? Here's where it starts getting a little bit more tricky because you may not have enough hours in a day to do the whole entire pile on a Monday, or there may be some things that can't happen just once a week. Like potentially you can't answer emails just once a week, people are waiting, so maybe that needs to happen every single day. And depending on your business and depending on what you do, it may even have to happen 2 or 3 times a day, but it doesn't have to happen 26 times a day. Okay. If you need to rewrite tasks like emails on more index cards, go ahead and do that. Give yourself more tasks, but you're going to be splitting your tasks into 7 piles. And this time taking each, you're putting as much of a pile as you could in a day. Okay. So you're already taking the piles that you have and you're just organizing them into every day of the week. Okay. If you have any questions on this, just drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer. This takes practice. This takes time. If right now it's hard and it takes a little bit of mental energy, that's totally okay and totally normal. As you do this more often, it will get a whole lot easier. Okay. Do we have 7 piles yet? One for each day of the week, with which tasks we're doing one. I know that when I did this, you know what I realized? Not only was I going and doing errands every single day, I was literally going to the same part of town 3 times in one day. Okay. Realize how crazy that is. So I would have an errand that I needed to do, and I would go do the errand. And then I'd come home, do some work. Remember, I had another errand to do, and literally had another errand that was like 2 blocks away from where I was just a few hours before. And then later on in the evening, remembered something else and would go back to the same part of town, just there again. How crazy. Just how absolutely crazy, right? And so we do this all day, every day. Okay. If you have your 7 piles and you're ready for the last and final step, then let's do this. You're going to need a pencil for this one. Some people like to do this digitally straight into their calendar. I personally like to write it down on a pencil with pencil and paper. And if you're feeling too challenged for this part yet, then wait. Like it's okay. What you did already so far is amazing. You can just go about your day, look at your pile, and be like, today is Monday. I'm going to do the tasks that are in my Monday pile. That's like awesome. Way ahead compared to what most people do. And then tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, and you'll do the cards that are in your Tuesday pile. If you want to take this to another level and do what I do, is then you can take a piece of paper that for our weekly schedule. You could just Google like a weekly calendar by time or something, or go in Canva. You could find it also. And you see, you have like all the days of the week, and then like times from when I'm up at 5, and then I usually go to bed about 9ish. And so I have 5 till 9, and then all the hours and completely blank. Now, with a pencil, because life happens and you might need to change things, I just go through every day, through every index card pile and fill out, okay, for Monday, what are all the things that I need to do? I take my pile and I literally block out time according to the calendar, what I'm going to do when. Because my tasks are already in groups of things that go together, it's a whole lot easier for me to be able to do my tasks, for me to be able to plan out and decide what to do, right? I'll give you a personal example. For me, Mondays and Thursdays are my meeting days. So today I have a whole bunch of meetings after this call. After this live, I literally have a bunch of client meetings, I have some sale meetings, I have team meetings, I have a whole bunch of meetings. But that means then Tuesday, Wednesday, my days are blank for me to be able to do deep work. This week, the deep work that I'm working on is podcasts. So I'm doing podcast writing. I'm figuring out everything that I need to do for the podcast. Okay. Now, because I know already on Mondays, I have Zoom meetings and I'm on call anyways, and I'm in the space and the mind frame of calls, and I happen to have time this morning to be able, with no call, I'm able to do this live without it taking a lot of extra energy because going out live is similarish energy to going on a call with a session compared to writing out podcast episodes. So it makes it really easy for me to figure out and plan out what I'm going to do in the day. Now, I've been doing this for years. So currently, when I plan my week, I actually do it every single Friday. It takes me just like 15 minutes. I already know my basic schedule. I'm able to look at what's scheduled in already and just adjust things as necessary. In the beginning, this takes more time, especially if you're still getting better at categorizations and you still need to write everything out on index cards. That's totally normal. That's totally okay. As your categorizations gets better and as your other cognitive functions get better, planning your week will get easier. But start with the index cards and show your brain how you can do more of one task together at a time. Okay. Oh, I just want to say the reason why I like to do it in a pencil is because, as you know, life happens. And sure, I could plan my weekend Friday ahead for the next week ahead, but things always happen. Emergencies come up, unexpected events happen. Sometimes they're good surprises, right? And so every day, the night before, as I close out my day, then I also just go over my next day. And with the eraser, if I need to change anything, because it's a pencil, it makes it really easy to change. Now, if you do it digitally, it's also really easy to change. I just personally like pen and paper because it really hits different parts of my brain and I feel myself way more grounded, I guess, and easier to follow through when it is on paper. So that's why I do it in pencil and paper. Awesome. Any questions on this? Any questions on categorizations, on planning, on ADHD, on any of it in general? Feel free to drop them in the chat.